All right, guys, big thanks to my buddy Homer for sending in a Yema. I've been wanting to check one of these out, so here we go. So let's get right into it. This is the Superman, and that is a heritage model, technically. I guess it was from the 1963 era all the way into the 70s, and basically what it was is this locking crown system. So we'll get into that in a moment. But let's just get into the case size on this. And obviously it's a quartz. You guys can see it ticking away. There are automatic variants of some of these watches. I just happen to have this quartz one, which was probably a smart purchase on Homer's end to start with that because they are kind of pricey. I'm not sure what kind of deals they do, maybe on launch or something like that. But a quick look, I think these are around $490 for quartz. And then I think when you get into the automatics, I think they're around $1,000. I'm guessing there's some deals out there. I could be wrong, but there are some, certain models that people are just after. It seems like it's a brand that's marketed well and it's out very, in the hobby for sure. All right, so we're looking at basically a 40 millimeter case. I measure 40.2, 49.5 lug to lug. You can see that case, the main case body is very thin profile and slight taper down to the lugs, drilled. Then you can see the bezel is actually a little bit taller there, and then the case back. So interesting case design for sure, and that's part of its overall design. It's pretty wild. 10.5 thick on this. You can see it has a, must be slightly domed sapphire crystal, and 20 millimeter lug width there. I did notice when I looked on the website, there was a bracelet variant for this, I think with the H-link. That's not what Homer sent over. He sent it over on this MSCO natal strap. So it's like a seatbelt, premium seatbelt type natal strap, and it works great with this watch for sure. 6.6 millimeter crown. You can see it's signed and I believe filled with some sort of blue. I tried to wipe that off. There was some protective blue coating on there, but that blue part stayed in. So I'm assuming that was intentional. So pretty interesting logo too, a nice cursive Y, and then the Yema on the Superman, very cleanly done. If we zoom in on the dial there, you can see it is a very nicely done blue dial with a large applied indices, center part filled with lume, should be C3 Luminova. This one says 990 feet. Again, when I went on the website, it looked like the quartz models were a 200 meter, 660 feet. This apparently is a 300 meter one. So again, a little confused on that one, but it is the Ronda 515 FE quartz movement with the 3 o'clock date. You can see the seconds hand ticking away. I'm not 100% sure what battery this uses, but I'm guessing the battery life is going to be about 3 years. So screw down case back, pretty easy to change that out. And the seconds hand hits most of the marks, not all of them. So it's a little weird because some of the marks aren't actually on the dial with the large indices taking up so much real estate, but you can see right there, it kind of looks like it hits. So I think it hits more than it doesn't. So I think it's fine, but you can see right there, it was kind of offset a little bit. I don't know. Don't be too picky. If it's really close, I think on quartz, I think you better just let it go. So let's take a look at the case back because the case back's pretty cool too. So you can see there, nice deep oil pressed. This is a French watch company, so it's smooth. There's no rough edges on the backside there. It's very smooth. All right, so if we take a close look at the locking mechanism, it's not super robust, guys, but it does exactly what it says. It's a locking mechanism. So let me thread this back through real quick before I just drop this thing because I'm holding it kind of weird, but let's see. So if we unscrew the crown, that frees up the locking. Obviously you can hack and adjust the time and all that good stuff, but it frees up this locking mechanism here. Now you still have a unidirectional, like 120 click bezel. So, and then you screw that back in and then it holds it from being locked, from bumped around. But because it's a unidirectional bezel, it seems redundant. I guess maybe redundancy is needed. Well, you can see I misaligned it there. That'll probably bother some people. But if I were to go back around, and it lined up before, but I just misaligned it. Pretty much a full polished case on this guy too. So let me pop this on wrist. You can get a look at that, and then we'll close out with a loom shot. I'll put a link in the description for the website as well. You know, back in the day, this company actually reached out to me, and then they just kind of dropped off. I thought they were going to send me some watches to video, but they must have got busy or something. But there you can see on my 7 1/4 inch wrist, it's a great size. It's going to have way more wrist presence because that dial size is very, very big compared to, say, like an SKX or something. So you have a thin bezel and a very wide dial, much like you would see like on an aviation type watch or something, which is good for wrist presence. It's also good for legibility. It's super easy to, you know, catch the time at a glance. You're going to be able to read the time very easy. And sometimes it's nice to have a quartz grab and go type watch, guys. So maybe you're looking for a unique style diver. This one certainly is that, with its large dial, thin bezel, and the locking mechanism. So it has some unique features, and it's still, like I said, a heritage one. It goes back to, I think they call it the reference 53.00.16, whatever that is. I didn't dig into the history of the brand or the particular model, but there are some historical points to the watch. So there you can see the loom. The handset is definitely brighter than the indices. So it is, well, it's C3, so it's plenty bright and it's going to last a while, but it's kind of a bummer when I see the difference from the hands to the indices. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it should be consistent. Just go that extra step and, you know, put what, I don't know, maybe another layer of C3 or the same formula or something, so it matches. It matches in intensity, I guess. But anyway, that's just me nitpicking. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.